measurements and figure this out. So for the front neckline, I have in total 19 and a half, but really it started as 9 and a quarter. Oh, so we have 18 and a half. Let me change that. 18 and a half. Okay, and then the back neckline, we have 8 and a quarter as the total amount, and then 4 and an eighth for half of it. So let me add 18 and a half and 8 and a quarter, and I have 26 and 3/4 of an inch for that neckline band. But we don't need to make the full length. We need to reduce this depending on the elasticity of the fabric. We want to reduce that amount by perhaps 10 to 20%. I just usually do 10% just to see how it works out. So if this is, we can just, round this up. If this is 27 inches, because it's 26 and 3/4, let's round up to 27 inches, and I want to reduce this by 10%, I'm taking off 2.7 inches. So I'm going to round that up to 3 inches. I'm going to minus 3 inches, and I'm going to end up with 24 inches for the neckline band. Okay, that's how much we need, and here is the length that I have right now. Let's see what we have. Good, we have plenty. So let's start at one end. I'm going to go ahead and draw my seam allowance. 3/8 of an inch. And now I'm going to measure the 24 inches. So this is an 18-inch ruler. So I need to add on there we go. Now we're at 24. And we've taken away 3 inches. And I'm going to add that seam allowance. Now I can go ahead and cut out the neckline band. And we added just that extra 1/8 of an inch to the neckline band. It's going to fill it in a little bit more. It's going to make sure our seam allowance doesn't show, because that can be tricky with small amounts. There's our total neckline band. And I like to put the seam on the shoulder. Lots of companies do, and lots of people prefer it on the left shoulder. But you can put it on the left shoulder, on the right shoulder, or at the center back. Some designers will put it at the center back. So there's our neckline band, and when we're cutting this out on the knit, the grain is going to be here. We're going to be cutting it out the same direction as everything else. We're going to put a notch. There we go. Let's put a notch here at the center front. And if this is our center front, I'm putting this at the center back, just for designer way. And from center front to the center back, we have to divide this up. If the neckline is 9 1/4, and we took off 10%, That was about taking off 1 whole inch practically. So let's see where 8 1/4 ends up. There we go. And if the back neckline was at 4 1/8, and if we're taking 10% off of that, about 1/2 of an inch, let's see if that ends up about 3 1/2. Ends up about 3 5/8. I'm happy with that. That's a great shoulder position. Let's go ahead and mark that the shoulder with the notch. And now we've made our neckline band. We have a grain line on it. And we are getting very close to being finished with our t-shirt. You can come back with the notcher. And you can notch anything out. And if you don't have a notcher, you can take your scissors and cut an extremely small triangle. Because when we cut this out on fabric, we're going to notch in about 1/8 of an inch. Notchers work best on hard paper, but they'll work okay on a soft paper like this. I would come back and I would notch the armholes and the sleeve caps. You could put a waist notch, front and back, but it's not necessary. One thing I wanted to do with this hem is I always like to just fold it up and see if I need to trim anything. No, I don't. I'm going to leave it alone. So that's okay front and back. And then when I notch the sleeve, I'm going to definitely make sure I have that open. Look, I can use my scissors and make that very small triangle. When I'm doing any cutting and layout, this will be open. Everything will be cut open. We make full patterns for the industry because nothing is cut on a fold. We will design a pattern and cut it on the fold to make it symmetrical, like this is symmetrical from the base of the armhole and the side seam down to the wrist hem. But this is not symmetrical to sleeve cap. We need to cut this open. We would cut a right and a left. And the neckline, we would also cut open in this direction. This is our neckline band. And this would be a cut one self. And this is the jersey. Would be wonderful if this was in a cotton lycra or rayon lycra. This you're going to cut open. And then this we can cut out and cut the back open too. So that concludes our demonstration on how to copy your favorite knit garment, your knit top. And I look forward to seeing you in my next videos. I'm going to be showing you a lot of awesome things to copy and knock off, patterns to make. This is Annette Julie. Appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.